teaching as well for about 7 years now in not an international school, but somewhat of a mixed school. It's called Marenia. It's in Bogor. I've also taught in other schools throughout my time, and United States for tutoring, private tutoring. I teach large groups, I teach small groups, I teach individuals, and I also talk about presentations. Believe it or not, I was actually a voiceover or actor for Telin, which is a subsidiary of Telcom, right? Yeah. So they hired me to do some voiceover work for them. I believe it was for the website. I'm not sure, but yeah, I went through a script.
So you're already well known with teleservices, right?
Yeah, I mean, based off of the script, sure, I have that information, you know. But yeah, I did some work for Telin twice, and there was supposed to be a third time. I don't know what happened. It just didn't. They found somebody else. I don't know. But I created English Learning Lab, which is my own personal brand. That is for private tutoring, online learning, and in the future, I am looking forward to having an online website learning platform where individuals, anybody, can go and purchase a beginner, advanced, or a beginner, intermediate, or advanced course, as well as business English, pronunciation, and so forth. So that, yeah, I met my wife 8 years ago, and we got married a year after we met. So, all right. So let me begin, because I don't want to take up a lot of your time. Okay. So, presentation. Excuse me. How to give a with for any situation. So it doesn't really matter what level or what you work in, right? Could be IT, could be marketing, could be sales, whatever it is, right? The idea is to plan and execute that presentation with ease, okay? And the first thing you should do is know your audience. Here, I see like kind of, let me just do one of those. Can everybody see that better? Okay, know your audience. Understand what your audience or what your target audience needs and wants as a target audience when they give a presentation, okay? Whether it be, again, in sales or marketing or whatever the case may be, you have to have a target audience. You have to know what they like, right? Knowing what they like is how you design what they expect from you, right? The presenter, okay? Use what you know they are expecting to create an interesting presentation that will hold their attention. That is key, holding the attention. See, I'm not holding her attention. She's know your purpose. Okay. Know your purpose. What you want to do is, for your audience, you want to know how they feel, or what do they do after the presentation. So if you have a purpose in mind for your presentation, there should be a sense of feeling that the person gets by watching or hearing your presentation, and there should be an action that you want that person to do. Okay, you want that person to complete an action. Maybe it's in sales and you're doing a presentation and you want to sell that person, or you're talking about sales, right? And you want your audience to know that your office, regional office, is doing better than the other regional office, right? And what do they want to do based off of your presentation? Oh, let's see if this works. Connected? I have to connect it. Okay. Preparation and goals to reach. Speaking about your audience, it's essential that you keep in mind, or keep them in mind, at every step of your, or every stage of your presentation, from preparation of your presentation all the way through to the delivery of your presentation. Content. Begin by understanding your audience's background, interest, and expectations. Tailor your content to resonate with them, addressing their specific needs and goals. Content goal. Every presentation should have a clear and specific purpose that guides your content and structure. What you want to do or what you want to achieve in your presentation is based on your content goal. Use visuals. Visuals are very important in presentations, and I will elaborate on that in just a moment. But adding interesting pictures to your, forget about PowerPoint, we don't use PowerPoint anymore, but your presentation, as humans are very visual beings, right? We think visually, okay? Visual aids, they can also be very powerful in any presentation, regardless whatever the subject or topic is. But it's important to choose the right ones, the right visuals, okay? Consider using charts, graphs, or images to help you. It's very important. Using charts and statistics. So for example, right, this is a presentation on giving a presentation. So I have some facts or statistics here, such as 90% of human thought is visual. 90% say a strong narrative or story is critical. Did you know that short presentations are more effective? Why? Because people retain it better. Nowadays, everybody has such a short attention span, right? We have TikTok and Instagram Reels, and everybody thinks in 15-second increments, right? So a shorter presentation will be much more effective than an hour-and-a-half long presentation. And around 75% of the population is afraid to speak in public. That's a fact. Many people are terrified to speak in public or speak in front of a stranger. I can know from first-hand experience that most people, when they talk in front of me that are Indonesian, freak out. And they either of mine actually leave the classroom because she couldn't give her presentation in front of me. And I felt horrible about that. Thankfully, a few weeks after, we got her to do it, and she did okay. It's just an internal fear that we have, you know? We're scared to go up in front of a bunch of strangers and feel judged by what they're gonna think, right?
Right.
Of course. But when we're using all these charts and visual aids, it's important to avoid using too many, okay? If you use too many visuals, then your presentation will be cluttered, okay? It'll be confusing, and people won't be able to follow along. All they're gonna see is all these pictures going into their head, right? So we can't use too much of the charts and the graphs and the pictures, but we wanna use a subtle amount, okay? Audience engagement. Audience engagement is, for example, through eye contact, okay? Looking at specific members of the audience or looking at everybody in the audience, right? Facial expressions. If we just go like this. So today we're going to talk about presentation. It's not going to work, right? Or doing one of these, you know? So presentation today is it's going to be about audience engagement. No, we have to be vocal. We have to have eye contact. We have to have movement, okay? And we have to give delivery. Your delivery is how you communicate your content and personality to your audience. It is the most crucial element of a successful presentation or business presentation, okay? Body movement and gestures, going back to that whole engagement thing, right? Body language is very important, combined with various critical elements like posture and gestures and eye contact. It's all very important because, again, if I sit here and I go like this, or if I just simply stand here like this and give a presentation, it's not as exciting as if I move my hands around and, you know, and walk around a little bit, right? People have short attention spans, again. So you have to kind of keep their interest, you know, whether it be kind of moving around or engagement, asking a question, whatever it might be. that's what you have to do. Body movement and gestures. Use your body language. Okay, now I'm not saying I do one of these, right? But body language and posture is important. Eye contact to all the audience is important. Don't look at the slides all the time. I am looking at the slides. I'm guilty. Yes, I'm guilty. But I'm not sitting here going, so positive body language and posture, eye contact, no, definitely don't do that. Now, I have had students that do that in class, okay, where I have them give a presentation or whatever it may be, an oral presentation, and they will literally stand here and look at it's a screen, right? They'll look at the screen and they will read off the screen, and I'm like, hey, the audience is over there. I said, did you not study for that? Did you not remember anything? So it's good to have something like this in front of you, like a teleprompter, right? A teleprompter is good to have. Which I'm not using my notes, is good to have like just cliff notes, right? So that you know what's coming up next. I kind of don't need it because I have this in front of me, so that helps. But we don't do this, looking at the screen while talking. We need engagement, right? Key takeaways. So when it comes to key takeaways, this is what you want people to remember, okay? You want them to remember your key takeaways. You can put things in bold, you can highlight whatever it is that you want that's important, or you can have a separate section of key takeaways, okay? No, I don't have a separate section on key takeaways, but I think you kind of get the point. And I do have things that are in bold. So, for example, key takeaways is bold, it's bright, it's there. Body language, bold, bright, it's there. The main topics are what I want you to remember, okay? So, moving on to confidence. This is something a lot of people lack, confidence. Again, people are terrified to speak in public. Not everybody, but 75% of people, right? I think you're a little bit afraid, right?
I'm one of them.
You're one of them. I
Yes.
knew it. I could tell. But don't worry. Have confidence. The way you deliver your presentation can have a significant impact on how your message is received, okay? So if you feel good about yourself, right? And you have confidence, and you have posture, and you have good gestures, and you're vocal, then your message to your audience will be received and perceived well, okay? Call to action. Now, this is more for like a sales pitch, okay? Or sales presentation. But it can be for any type of business in general. A call to action, a CTA, in a presentation is kind of a necessary thing, okay? It guides the audience to take precautionary measures relevant to the topic. Our topic is presentations. So our call to action, it's coming up, don't worry. It's in our conclusion, okay? So be sure to choose something like a quote when you end your presentation. It will resonate with your audience. So my quote that I chose was, "A great presentation gives smart ideas an advantage." And of course, always note who quoted that, and Nancy Duarte. You don't have to say who quoted it, I'm just letting you know, right? You can also ask a rhetorical question, and this can be my CTA. Are you ready to give the best presentation of your life?
Yeah.
Yes! Absolutely! Right! Now, it's a rhetorical question, so you don't have to really answer it, but in your mind, you can be like, yes, I am.
Sure.
Right? Okay? So, that is our conclusion. Now, I personally have a CTA, okay? I am a private teacher, and if anybody here is interested in learning or tutoring or learning more about business English or terms, I work later, okay? If you're interested in private learning online classes, seats are extremely limited because my time is so filled up right now, but I do have some time slots available. So if you're interested, just see me afterwards. Thank you for your time. Okay? All right, that was my
Speaker.
English, just talk.
Keep on talking.
Like honestly, I'm not even joking about that. Like people ask all the time, how do I get better at speaking English? Well, speak English. You know, that's the best way to get good at it is by using it. If I know it's so convenient to not use it, that's the problem. Is that when we're private in our own setting, you know, we typically will use the language that we're used to, our mother tongue, right? However, if you want to get good at something, you have to use it. So you have to continue to use it. Another method of getting more fluid in English is watching English programs. Watch things on TV, you know? Movies, yeah. Netflix, movies, YouTube, whatever, Instagram. Just expose yourself to it. Reading as well. Reading English text as well is very important. This way you can see the words, right? Sometimes when we hear the words, we're still like, huh? You know, that's why I tell people if you're gonna watch a movie or a video, put on the closed captions. YouTube, they're not so good with that. Yeah, their closed captions are not always matching up to what the people are saying,
Yeah.
but Netflix seems to be a lot better, or Hulu or whatever. But that helps. That definitely helps. Also, furthering your English education. If you have the ability to hire a native speaker like myself, I highly recommend it because we can work on your pronunciation, your vocabulary, your figures of speech that are used in everyday English. So I highly recommend that as well. That's something that I think if you truly want to master English and fluently speak it, you really should be taught by a native English.
Maybe for the single one, having a girlfriend native.
If you have a native girlfriend, then congratulations. Good job.
Can you teach me how to get to...
Girlfriend native.
I'm sorry, I don't teach alpha male, like, you know, how to get. So they have to impersonate what they think an American sounds like. Just like how we impersonate what a British person sounds like, right? You know, we put on that mimic, that impression, right? So if you try to do that for American or whatever, if you want to sound like a Brit, then go ahead. If you know, whatever your accent you want to sound like, right? So that actually helps, believe it or not, because it focuses and works the muscles and the tongue. It's important for that tongue muscle to fall into position when you're saying a word, a consonant, vowel together, silent TH, loud TH, you know, those type of sounds, right? Some of them are not used by Indonesians in your language. It's just not used, right? Also, like the vocal range in English is a little bit deeper and down. Yeah, then versus different languages which are a little bit higher up when we speak. So that's like a completely different type of class. That's like vocal coaching and pronunciation coaching. Yeah, so that's stuff that I also do.